Hello everyone, my name's Caden and welcome back to more Chaos Head Noah. Last time we began starting to make our way through to getting other endings, starting with ending B, which requires us to get specific delusions, so we've kind of just been rushing through the game, going through delusions plenty and seeing what else we can do, and just seeing what happens. Anyways, let's go ahead and just continue. I'll go ahead and just hit this button. Even though it'd been my own delusion, I was terrified. It was entirely possible for you to have gotten hold of my cell phone number from somewhere and called me after all. I didn't want to listen to the voice message anymore if I could help it. But since I already emulated the worst possible outcome in my delusions, I should have been able to handle it as long as I only had to listen and nothing else. Shaking off my depression, I set the message to play back. Then after checking multiple times to make sure the demon girl wasn't there, I put the phone to my ear. And there we go. Continuing through this again. So we're still in chapter 3. So I think we actually, that was the last delusion we needed for this. So as long as it doesn't say damn it or there were only 5 calls, there's no one here. Okay. You know, let's go with extra negative delusion. There are no customers, nor any employees, yada yada yada. No one came out. For some reason, I had a bad feeling about this. This wasn't normal. Maybe I'd somehow managed to stumble into something completely unreal. Oh dear. Oh great. What's happening now? While still standing in front of the counter, I casually looked outside the store. Beyond the automatic glass doors was a street where not a single person was walking. Then I saw a silhouette hiding in the shadows of the apartment complex across the street. Huh? The form hid itself right after I saw it, but I had already seen it, clearly. In the silhouette's hand was an object that resembled a long black cylinder. Was that a sniper rifle? Did that mean that the silhouette was a member of the riot police? Or maybe the SAT? That was why I couldn't see any customers or employees. The police had blocked off the area. Why the hell would they do that? Having thought that, I started freaking out. I quickly looked around the store, then ducked behind a shelf. Could this be... Was there a police standoff happening right now at this very store? A criminal who had taken the store employee hostage might be barricading himself in the back. And that criminal might be the new Gen culprit. Oh god. I sank down to the floor and cradled my head in my hands. Why did I let myself go somewhere so dangerous? Wait, no, this wasn't my fault. The police were the police were the police. If they were blocking up the area, then they should have stopped me before I went to the convenience store. It was their fault. Was there any way I could escape? If I stayed here, they'd take me hostage too. Fortunately, I haven't run into the culprit yet. If he was hiding in the back room, I should get out while I still can. I was so scared, my knees felt like they were about to give out. It was extremely difficult to even stay upright. Even so, I kept myself low to the ground and slowly shuffled toward the automatic doors.
This is a message for the perp!
Began with a shout so cliche you wouldn't even hear it on a modern-day detective show. From outside the store, a policeman started shouting through a megaphone. It startled me so bad that I had to hide back behind the shelf again.
We have you completely surrounded! Release the hostages and come out with your hands up!
An incredibly stereotypical way to call them out to them. Didn't they have a negotiator or something?
You have 30 seconds!
3 seconds? That was practically nothing!
You will surrender before then! If not, we will take forceful action!
They wanted to come in by force! Were they trying to put the hostages in danger? If you did that in modern-day Japan, the public and mass media would eat you alive! How were the police thinking? I stayed crouched down on the floor and held my breath. My heart was pounding insanely fast. I felt like my heart was about to burst. If the police were going to force their way into the store, the whole place would become a war zone. And I'd be caught right in the middle of the crossfire whether I wanted to or not. I might get hit by a stray bullet and die right here. Please no. I couldn't see what the criminal was doing. The entire store was silent. I was getting angry. What the hell was the criminal doing? Hurry up and surrender already, otherwise I'd get caught up in this too! I gently peeked out from behind the shelf and looked outside once more. And what I saw shocked me to my core. There were several SAT snipers in plain view of me, all of which were training their sniper rifles right at the store. I frantically jerked my head behind the cover. Police were going to shoot the criminal to death. Would they be able to get away with something like that in Japan? I couldn't believe it.
You have 10 seconds.
This can't be happening. Give me a break. My eyes darted around the room restlessly until suddenly they settled on my hand. What? For some reason in my hand was a knife. And the blade was soaked in red. It was blood. What? I was confused. How long had I had this knife in my hand? Where'd I even get it? I heard someone groaning but close by. An employee was lying on the floor. He was a bleary looking guy, likely a college student. His hands were tied behind his back and his mouth was covered with duct tape. He was looking at me. His eyes were stricken with fear. Why are you looking at me? Don't look at me like that. You're looking at me like I'm the criminal. Wait. Was I the criminal? No, it wasn't me. I hadn't done anything.
Time's up. We will now open fire.
This wasn't happening.
Snipers, ready? Aim.
This wasn't happening.
Fire.
This wasn't happening. Yep, there we go. Yeah, the police would never do that. Like, come on, fire? Really? It wasn't like a standoff was about all straight out of the Sengoku period or something. Several minutes had passed while I was having my delusion. There was still no sign of any employees. I wanted to believe that the cashier was just taking a nap, so I waited for another 5 minutes. While I waited, no employees showed up, nor did any customers enter the store. There wasn't even as much of a sound. Okay, there we go. And this is where we first see, Shogun! Yay! Whee! Chapter 4. So, in here we're looking for choices that start in the words "in this small private room" and "the police." Alright. The first illusion we just have to do neutral, which we've already done before. I don't know if it's this one, though. Nope. Negative. At this rate, we're just gonna do this first path all negative. You would question me and say, why not do everything all positive? I think the positive stuff could get me in trouble. So I'm not going to do all positive. I'm going with the option that's bloodier and is probably going to scar me more. I had to say something. I had to say something. But what should I say? The more I thought about it, the more trapped I felt, and the more my mind went blank. Suddenly, Remy sniffled. I was so surprised that I looked up out of reflex. She was crying. I don't know why, but tears were falling from her eyes in large drops. I was getting increasingly confused, but I stayed silent like an idiot, unable to think of anything else to do. I know. Remy murmured in a shaky voice. I know you probably hate me, Taku. I'm sorry, but I won't talk to you anymore. I'm so sorry. I'm just bothering you, aren't I? Remy turned on her heel and quickly made her way out of the classroom. I wanted to yell after her. No, you're wrong, I wanted to say. I don't hate you at all. I just had no idea what to do or say. I waffled over whether or not I should chase after her, but in the end I couldn't leave my seat. If I did chase after her, what would I even say? Could I even say anything? Seriously, what would I even say? I like you, I'm glad we're friends? I couldn't do that. I didn't know her. It was true that I'd been saved thanks to her. But to me, she was still some mystery person who completely appeared out of nowhere. I know you probably hate me, was what she said. But I couldn't tell her whether or not that was true. After all, I didn't have the memories to help me decide whether I hated her or liked her. That was when Misumi-kun, who was supposed to have been with the transfer student, came back. He gave me a sympathetic look. You made her cry, huh? You know, she asked me for advice a while back.
got a big crush on Taku, but I know he's never gonna notice me. What should I do? That's what she said. What the hell? When did that happen? I held my head and shook it violently. But I don't get it. I don't get any of this at all. It's not about getting it or not. Stuff like this ain't about logic. Well, guess you're gonna end up being a NEET for the rest of your life. After that, I didn't get a chance to talk to Rimi all the way until I graduated. Even when we saw each other in class, we would both avoid each other. And then, after graduation, I became a NEET, just like Misumi-kun had predicted. And I never saw Rimi again for the rest of my life. That was just... So that was what the bad end would probably be like. That was just depressing. Okay, thanks, game. Very damn depressing. No shit. It was still true that I didn't know anything about Rimi. Like I thought, the only option I had was to just keep quiet and not do anything. Taku? Rimi, who had been silent the entire time, finally called out to me, albeit hesitantly. But I couldn't respond due to how sudden it was. To her, it probably felt like I was ignoring her. In my head, I knew I couldn't keep acting like this, but in the end, I still couldn't get myself to do anything. Are you okay? This time I nodded frantically. Probably made me look pretty suspicious. Okay, glad to hear it. Rimi's voice was gentle. I could hardly believe it, but she seemed like she was going to continue patiently being with me, even though I was being silent. Are you okay? Was what she'd said. I felt the sudden urge to ask her something. I wanted to ask... Back when we met in front of 107, what did it look like to you? Oh, there we go. Whee! Okay, we're still looking for in this small private room. Oh, hey, Nanami. No phone. Do. In place of a sword was a white chain coiling around one of her legs. This is not the delusion we're looking for. So, negative. Let's go with it. I want to be scarred. I automatically stopped dead in my tracks. What if she got up and attacked me with a D-sword right at this very moment? The very thought scared the hell out of me. Giving into my fear, I began to follow Stana's orders. I took one step into the train car. Or as I did, I immediately reconsidered. That was exactly what Stana would want me to do. A moth to a flame. A fly to a spider's web. I couldn't do that. How could I waltz right on in into my own death like that? I should run away. That was a much better idea. From the chain, it was easy to tell that the girl had some completely absurd superhuman strength. It was just a single twist of her arm. I'd get helplessly pinned to the ground and she would break my arm right after. And that wouldn't be the end of it. She had a D-sword. If I were to be slashed with a sword that thick and gigantic, I would die instantly. This girl was lying in wait for me. She was plotting something. Run away, now! I turned my heel to get off the train. But without me noticing, the exit had closed. I had only just walked in. It hadn't even been more than a couple seconds, and yet... With no sound, and no movement, the door had closed all on its own. I was petrified. I couldn't figure out what had just happened. When the door closed? Who closed it? I better not turn around and see Sana with that creepy smile that I saw friggin' Kozue have last time. It didn't seem like it opened and closed automatically. And even if it was an automatic door, I surely would have heard it. Sana was still sitting down on the seat. She hadn't moved a muscle. So she couldn't have been the one to close it. It obviously couldn't have been me. I hadn't even touched the door. I wonder if there was someone nearby who could be the owner. But I couldn't see anyone outside the window who looked like it. No, whoever had closed it didn't matter right now. I shifted my gaze over to the other doorway sitting at the back of the car. It was closed too. I'm trapped. Sina and I were the only ones on the train, but what did that mean? All sorts of negative thoughts flew through my head, and I nearly screamed aloud. How long? Sana, still glaring at me, of course, spoke up once again. Do you plan to keep on standing there? I had nowhere to run. My legs trembled. If I was to make some noise, the people outside might notice, but Sana would probably beat me to a pulp before I could escape. For now, it was best to just do what she said without resisting. I resigned myself and went to stand in front of Sana. Oh, okay. What was odd to me, though, was how no one thought it was strange that Stan and I were locked in this train, despite the fact that there were this many people. You'd think at least one person would find it weird. No one was even paying attention to the train. Yep, there we go. So, before I knew it, the door exiting the train had opened as silently as when it had closed. I was completely and utterly bewildered. Yeah, basically the same thing, except the train door was just closed. Interesting. Ah. In the small private room. Here we go. For this delusion, we need to pick neutral, so we just continue with what I've had going the entire time. Hello. The next delusion we're looking for should say, the police. This might already be it. The police, yep. Chapter 4, the police should be negative. Here we go. Uh-oh. Did I just... Terrifying thoughts ran through my head. I sat up and looked around the park once again. The man who had been sitting on the bench while staring at his cell phone was taking quick glances at me. Or at least that was what it felt like. And we can actually see our good old friend Hatano there. Right then, a man with a stern face entered the park and sat down on the pipish fence, opened a newspaper, and started reading. In a dark place with the next to no streetlights, a man, seemingly a businessman who had been walking in quickly through the park, was now standing at the edge of the overpass, gazing down at the street below. The policeman who had been talking to the homeless man was now looking at me while contacting someone on his police radio. Cold sweat crept down my back. No. Were these guys cops? Maybe they were telling me. If that was true, I was completely surrounded. You had already made up her mind and decided that I was a murderer. And then based on her delusion, she'd probably gone and reported it to police. Who's that kidding? I couldn't help but mutter that aloud, albeit at a volume low enough so that no one could hear me. Was this another part of Shogun's evil plan? I didn't do it. I didn't kill anyone. I'm not a murderer. Why should I, a coward who couldn't talk to people worth shit, be treated like a murderer and then subsequently chased by police? Why did I have to cop and you as insane delusional bullshit? Regardless, I couldn't stay here. I just still hadn't stopped pounding. It hurt to breathe, but I still had to get out of here. I made my way right over to the overpass, trying my best to look as neutral as possible. Right in front of me was a staircase leading down to Meiji Dori. I'd go down it, and then I'd escape using the road. As I reached the middle of the overpass, a new figure appeared on the stairs. It was a woman, and judging from the suit, an office worker. She was holding a cell phone to her ear and talking with a blank expression on her face as she walked up the stairs. Could she be a detective too? I passed by her, my heart pounding the entire time. Those eyes are those eyes. Yeah, shirts with that phrase are getting on them are going crazy right now. I'm going to go and buy one this Sunday. Tell them they sell them on Takeshita Dori, which is located in Harajuku. I felt really uncomfortable. Her speaking style was really awkward. It felt strangely theatrical. Who the hell was she talking to anyway? Who was on the other end of the phone? Was she even talking to anyone at all? But in the end, the woman took no action against me. I finally made it to the stairs, and it was with relative ease. Upon reaching them, I looked back toward the park. The cop wasn't following me. He was standing in the same place as before, still talking into his police radio. One of the homeless people who had been sitting on the ground was starting to get up, but none of the other homeless people were moving. But then, before I knew it, the man on the bench and the man reading the newspaper both got up and started walking toward me. The two men glanced at each other. They were exchanging looks. Or at least it seemed like it. I then turned my gaze to the office worker again. She had passed me a few moments ago, but now she turned her head to look at me. The second our eyes met, she turned back away with a start. Her cell phone was still held up to her ear, but she wasn't speaking anymore. I was hit with an amount of fear that I had never experienced before, and I immediately bowled down the stairs. I ran down Meiji Dori toward the station and looked up at the overpass. The office worker was leaning over the railing and pointing at me. It wasn't just her. Two men were sprinting across the overpass. They really were cops. All of them were cops. Shit. This was Yua's fault. She'd set me up. Should I just tell him I was innocent? But even if I did, I couldn't get away from the fact that I was literally running away from the police right now. Besides, I was sure that the police would find some way to pin it on me regardless. They would never believe an otaku freak like me. I didn't have time to think about what would happen next. For now, I just need to get away from Yua and the police. If There was a sole thought occupying my mind. There we go. Hey, Fez. So now we've done everything we need to for that. For that chapter, that's everything. And, I'm gonna regret this. I'm going to regret this. I swear to God. The campsite with its cross-shaped sign was downright criminal. I couldn't help but think that... Okie dokie. What kind of... No. 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 That was it? Wait, that was the entire delusion? No, it wasn't! No! I can't. That was, in fact, not... I don't... Completely and utterly flustered, Mesa. What? I just got... I don't feel like I should be showing this. I'm sorry. Sorry. I had a delusion about this very thing. That's wearing white lingerie. Thanks, game. Just go away. This is the delusion you wish for. I wish to unwish it. I need an excuse. What the hell is happening? I'm gonna have a heart attack because of this damn game. I literally said, no, go away! Go away! Put some damn clothes on! Go away! Leave me alone! She's just saying the same things but she's naked. Leave me alone! You scare me! Put some clothes on! Again, it's literally just saying the exact same things. I don't want to show in case I get in trouble for it. Right, with fashion, you've got cool fashion on one half of you, and you don't have any kind of fashion on the other end. Put some clothes on! Please. It's just saying all the same things. Except one is just wearing underwear. I don't care, the greater will wants this. Just get the heck out of here. If this is what it... I knew I shouldn't have picked... I knew I was going to immensely regret... Gosh dang it. Now we're back... I don't even know if I can show... I have to keep it... I swear to God. Okay. Okay, we're gone. Okay, hang on. And turn the screen back on. Okay. Okay. We're finally away from Fez. Okay, we're in chapter 5 now. Thank goodness. Let us never speak of this again. Here's another example. Well, this is actually the first illusion we need to check. We need to do a positive one here. I left the classroom and headed for the school entrance, refusing to let my eyes wander anywhere. As I made my way out, I stuck to my usual routine, walking as close to the wall as I could, all while keeping my head low so that I wouldn't stand out. The final bell had already rung a little bit ago, so while the students on cleaning duty or doing club shit were still around, basically everyone who opted to go straight home had already had. The school always felt somewhat lonely, or even wistful after the final bell rang. No matter where I went, it's felt that way, whether it was the ancient buildings made out of wood or the newer structures like Suime. Well, not that I'd ever set foot in any wooden school buildings in anything other than Eroge. As I unconsciously walked through the corridor under the setting sun, my mind wandering around on all sorts of inconsequential stuff, I spotted a strange figure coming towards me. It was a single girl waddling forward, carrying 2 large cardboard boxes. Couldn't see her face behind the boxes, and she probably couldn't see a thing in front of her. She was asking to eat shit. Someone was asking to eat shit. If this were an eroge, this scenario would 100% result in us running into each other and me tripping a flag. I thought about attempting to do just that, but concluded that it'd be best to just keep it as a thought, because in reality, I didn't want to actually do it. Instead, my alarm bell started going off. There was a legitimate possibility that she was one of Shogun's assassins. Stay away from her. Be extremely careful. I paid extra careful attention to each of her steps. She kept drawing nearer, sometimes tilting to the left or to the right. I, meanwhile, kept walking along the left wall of the corridor. As the girl started moving to her right, I sped up, and then we passed each other without any issues. But right then I heard something fall, and I quickly turned my gaze downward without even thinking. Someone had dropped their student handbook. I stopped in my tracks. Had the girl with the boxes dropped it? As I stared at the student handbook, my thoughts began to wander. Doubt arose in my mind. Why had the student's handbook fallen at that exact moment? It was way too conspicuous. It was practically begging to be picked up. Was it a trap? Had she dropped it on purpose? The girl had been carrying boxes with both hands. Her hands were occupied. If the student handbook had been in her skirt pocket, it likely would have been entirely impossible for her to take it out and drop it. However, I hadn't seen where it fallen from. Maybe the girl had been holding it from the very beginning, hiding it beneath the boxes. I wasn't sure. It might not have been on purpose. The more realistic option was that it was just a coincidence. I followed the girl's figure with my eyes. Or tried to, anyway.
Huh?
At that precise moment, the girl took a turn down the hallway and disappeared. I'd only seen her for a split second. She hadn't looked like anyone I knew. Her hair had been short, I think? No, maybe it'd been really long, actually. I couldn't say for sure which. Naturally, I hadn't seen her face either when I'd passed her. It had been hidden behind the boxes. The student handbook and I were now all alone in the hallway. The sensible options probably were to either pick it up and deliver it to the staff room, or rush after the girl and ask her about it, but I was hesitant to carry out either. I looked around me. There were no other students in sight. I could somewhat make out the sound of girls laughing happily in the distance. It probably wasn't a trap. The handbook's owner had already left. How could this possibly end up being a trap? Could there be a small bomb inside the handbook? No, that was way too unrealistic. If I picked up the handbook right at that moment, nothing would happen. Yeah, nothing was going to happen. Just in case, I should check the handbook to see who the girl was. She could have been one of Shogun's underlings. I check her name, class, and photo, and then leave the handbook here. I couldn't be fucked to go after her or give it back. Nevertheless, I was still carefully scanning the area just to be sure no one was around. Then, after I was sure I was alone, I picked up the handbook and casually opened it to the first page. Great. Why am I not surprised? I hurriedly threw the handbook away. What was that? I'd never been so creeped out before. It was so unbelievably eerie. It just scared me. I felt sick to my stomach. It's very clearly malicious, blatant harassment aimed specifically at me. Who would go so far as to do this? Wait, of course, it had to be the girl from before. The girl actually was Shogun's underling. She had to be. I'd only glanced at the student handbook, but all the information that should have been on the first page, such as name, birthday, and class, was blacked out. In addition, the portrait that should have been attached had now been removed. I felt like I was going to puke. I was hit with an intense wave of nausea. I wanted to get out of there as soon as possible. Covering my mouth, I'd moved toward the stairs. I ran through the courtyard with no real destination in mind, until I could no longer hold back the urge to vomit. The second I fell on my knees, the entire contents of my stomach began spilling out. I think we're about to start skipping. Yep, there we go. Hello, Remy. So the other one should be a ... exclamation point. Is the other delusion. Put her hands on my shoulders. I'm going to regret a lot.
Straight for you.
はい。
Huh? Destroy it? Destroy what? That came out of nowhere. I never would have thought Rimi was the type to act like a Dokyun. Despite confusion, Rimi continued to talk very seriously.
Whoever comes in possession of that CD becomes cursed. Did you not know that? According to my research, all the new gym victims had bought that very same CD. Fest's prophecies, they only come true for those who bought the CD. It's her curse.
That couldn't be.
The new Gen incidents are all because of her. Because of Fest. If we don't hurry, the next one to die will be you, Taco.
Yeah, there we go. That was a short one. Nice.
Hey!
Suddenly I came back to myself. Rimi was waving her hand in front of my face, her eyebrows furrowed in confusion.
What's wrong? It looks like I lost you for somewhere for a second there.
Oh no, it's nothing. What's up with that delusion? It felt like I was gonna piss myself.
So I take you weren't listening, huh?
Sorry.
Then I'll ask again. If I do something for you, could you lend me the CD I really want to listen to?
Huh?
You wouldn't mind, right? Come on, I promise I'll make it up to you.
Life was a cruel mistress. Though I suppose it was my fault for expecting anything. When I agreed to Rimi's proposal, she delightedly struck a victory pose. The sight was so amusing to me that despite the critical situation I was in, I couldn't help but laugh. Well, it had a positive end to it. Well, I'm still looking for a ... exclamation point. Go away! No! No! I don't want this! Leave me alone! Anyway. No, I was just jumping to conclusions. At this oops. I didn't save, so we're not going back for that, gonna be honest with you. I didn't mean to hit E. I just instinctually did. Whoops. Sorry. Well, guess we're just keeping going. That was a mistake. Flag trip. I'm gonna make this a terrible situation. I was at a loss about what to do, so I opted to subtly I'm going to preemptively black out the screen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm very glad I did that because I'm starting to get afraid. This is fine. I can show you what this image is. This is fine so far. This is not bad, but I can tell, I just get this very bad feeling it's about to become a hell of a lot worse, so I'm going to keep this muted until I know for certain. What? Rimi had changed clothes in the blink of an eye. You know, I was so worried that I hadn't even noticed she changed clothes, I'm gonna be real with you. She should have been wearing her uniform, but there's no way she could have sneakily changed her clothes in the short time I'd had my eyes closed for, right? I couldn't keep up with such a sudden change.
Something wrong?
Rimi tilted her head. She didn't say a word about her sudden change of clothes. What was going on? Had Rimi not noticed, or was she just playing dumb? Trying not to ogle her, I looked over her new change of clothes. Stop. Stop. Stop looking down. Was this her casual outfit? I hadn't seen her in anything but her uniform before. It felt incredibly invigorating. She was wearing both a denim-esque jacket and a miniskirt. The over-the-knee socks she had been wearing before were gone. Essentially, her legs are... Stop. No. 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 No! Stop it! Free sister and free kittens. Shut it! I didn't see on my wallpapers for a while. Is this an illusion? Put the delusion to bed. Stop it! No! No! I'm losing it. I'm afraid. I'm sorry. It doesn't look bad right now, but I'm too scared. I'm sorry. Oh, this is cute, though. Hang on. This is actually really cute. I can show this. This is easy cute. Look how cute this is. She looks very cute in her casual outfit, actually. I'm still not trusting this, though. Until it starts auto-advancing, or... I don't trust this for a damn second. I don't want to accident.
私喉乾いてきちゃった
Hitaku,
Surprising no one, Rimi showed no sign of acknowledging her change in outfit, instead just giving me an instant smile.
I'm really thirsty.
何か飲み物
You have anything to drink?
My sense of reason on the verge of rupture, I took advantage of the opportunity to get up and head toward the fridge. I peeked inside. I had some half-finished cola, but I drunk directly from the bottle, so it probably wouldn't be the best idea to give it to Rimi. Didn't I pick a negative delusion?
ないなら買ってこようかなコンビ
This
ニ
is
って
wait,
深
what?
センの駅
I'm
前にあったよね
confused. Did I not pick a negative delusion? Also, this is also really cute. I still don't trust it though. I'm sorry. I know this is probably very annoying, but I don't want to have to deal with the potential of having a lot of issues here, okay? I felt Remy stand up behind me.
ちょっと行ってくる
I'll be right back.
When did your outfit change? What the hell kind of phenomenon was that? It really had been a delusion. Huh. Remy wearing casual clothes. Ayase splitting in two. I think I can show it again. Alright, let me just... Had it even been that, though? Did I have the powers or not? And if I did, how could I actively use them? How could I obtain a D-sword? I was still stuck in a deep maze of questions, unable to do anything but wander around aimlessly. I swear to God, if you show Fess again, I'm going to throw a hissy fit. Don't do it. She's back! Wait, she's back in her normal outfit. What the... Then Remy, who had only just left, returned. And not only that, but she was wearing her uniform. Now, you mean to tell me she quickly changed while she was outside? Why would she do that?
I forgot my wallet.
私財布
Remy
持っ
didn't
て
seem
く
to
の
notice my
忘れて
bewilderment,
た
and with a strange laugh, she took her wallet from her bag.
ペシ
Easy. Okay,
それ
let's
じゃ
try this again.
改
Be
め
right
て買っ
back.
てくるね
I don't understand. And without mentioning her clothing even once, she left the container again. Pressed a finger against my temple and groaned. Someone please explain that bizarre phenomenon just now. You're on crack, Takumi. Anyways. Takashina's dead. Santa eats popsicle. Santa destroys machines. Bye-bye. Come to think of it, what was that up with that phenomenon I experienced earlier? The one where Remy had changed clothes. It felt way too real to be called a hallucination. It seemed both realistic and unrealistic that Remy had changed clothes at such lightning speed, and there was zero reason for her to do such a thing. Therefore, it must have been a delusion of mine, just like when Ayase had split in two. I swear to God. Okay, I was scared. This game gives me no shortage of heartache. I think I'm still looking for a ... exclamation point, though. Yep, there we go. This one needs to be negative. So let's do it. My vision suddenly went pitch black. I felt something push against my eyes. What the hell?
誰だ
Who is it?
No fucking way. Could this be the legendary Who Is It game? Legend states it only exists within the world 2D, yet she used the classic line. Could be? Could will and truly be? And there's a thought I experienced in my lifetime. Thus right now I basically won the game of life. Of course I immediately knew the answer. After all, I was trained in the art of working out the voice actor just by hearing an anime character talk. But saying it's obviously you or me would be pretty embarrassing. How should I answer? What was that?
どう
So?
答
Don't know
え
the
わか
answer.
らない
There was someone there. I could sense the presence of someone other than Remy. Since my vision was obscured, my hearing was particularly sensitive. In the location where we were now, someone other than Remy and I was there. And there was a sound of creaking metal. Oh God.
その目誰の
Whose eyes are those eyes? My body was instantly seized by fear. I tried to shake off Remy's hand, but she held it firmly.
ちょっと
Hey,
ちょ
where do you think you're going?
ちゃんと
Answer
答
the
え
question,
言ってよ
silly.
ずるしちゃダメ
No
なんだ
cheating allowed.
This is weird. Something was very, very wrong here. Why was she acting so carefree? Had she noticed it? Or was she just pretending not to? I couldn't stand the fear of not being able to see what was going on, so I grabbed the delicate hands covering my eyes and ripped them away.
Taku?
Remy fought back even harder. As a result, we ended up wrestling a bit with each other, and Remy collided with my back. Stop. Now wasn't the time to rejoice in that fact. Let me go! Someone managed to shove Remy's hands aside and jump away, and then turned back toward her. Where is he? Where's Shogun? The only thing I saw was Remy, standing there with a bewildered look. I looked around the area, trying to find a wheelchair. But there was nothing. Absolutely nothing. He isn't here. That doesn't... I couldn't see him anywhere. Not in the large sport courts. Not by the entrance. There wasn't a single sign of an old man riding a wheelchair.
I'm sorry, Taku. Did I scare you?
Remy looked very apologetic. It didn't seem like an act either. Was there someone there just now?
What?
An old man in a wheelchair. Remy tilted her head.
I don't think so. I didn't see anyone.
Well,
Were they with you before I got here?
no, that's not what I meant. That's not what I became less and less confident in my assumption, even though I was so sure I'd heard those things. That sound of the wheelchair creaking, Shogun's chuckle. It was like he was mocking me. And whose eyes were those eyes? Had I hallucinated it? Was I really that anxious? That was probably it. It was probably nothing more than that.
It's okay.
Remy smiled at me. Except, it felt forced this time.
I'll walk home with you, so there's no need to be afraid. Okay?
Really flooded into me from her words. Then, guided along by Remy, we head towards the school gate. Okay, so next up, we have to wait till Chapter 6 in order to get anything else going. We might be able to get Ending B today. We might, depending on how long these other sections take. Hello. Everything goes badly. Chapter 6. Whee. Hello, Shogun. Discouraged, I hung up the phone. Oh, this is actually the first illusion. We need to pick positive. Positive. Alright, here we go.
Taku!
Remy. It was as if my prayers had been answered. Like the cries of my heart had been heard. Remy really did always appear whenever I was in trouble. She opened the door and leapt into my room. Remy, save me. Remy looked straight at me, then quickly examined our surroundings. Immediately realizing that the source of terror was my PC, she began typing on the keyboard with an angry expression. Shut your mouth, stupid. Leave Taku alone or I'll kick her butt.
You have to be ruthless at times like this.
Remy looked back at me and smiled gently.
If you're really upfront with them, the boys will back off a lot easier than you think.
Is that really how it worked? Remy was only that reckless because she didn't know much about the internet. Being that blunt would only make the other person even madder. And here, the other person was Shogun. As I stared at the monitor with bated breath, Shogun sent yet another message. You're dead. Well, that's pleasant. The room went silent. What the hell? I knew it. It really had pissed him off. The tone of his last message was very clearly different.
He's all talk, I promise. Sound like some random person would treat that personally enough to come barging in here or something. More importantly, are you doing okay, Taku? Sorry I missed your call. I was already almost here, so I figured I'd just wait until I saw you in person. After the earthquake hit, I was so worried about you that I ran here as fast as I could.
来てよかった。
I'm glad I did.
While I was listening to Rimi's voice, I couldn't take my eyes off the monitor. His message had left me deeply unsettled. You're dead. Why the
なん
hell?
てこと。
私が来たから
I'm here now, so everything's a-okay. You don't have to worry about a thing.
なんてことをし
Why
し
the
てく
hell
れ
did
たんだ
she
よ。
do that?
殺さ
He'll
れる。
kill me.
あ
He's
いつ
gonna
に
kill me.
殺される。早く逃げ
I
な
have
い
to get out
と。
of here fast.
Calm down, he's not gonna kill you.
殺
You're
されなんてしない
overthinking.
よ。
Whoa. Hey. Suddenly, Rimi went silent. Her eyebrows furrowed and she looked up at the ceiling. What's wrong?
その目
Whose eyes are those eyes?
Her voice was a soft murmur. Suddenly, Rimi's face contorted and she grabbed her at her head with both hands.
頭
My head,
急に
it hurt.
痛くなって
Huh? Huh?
It hurt. Feels like a splint too.
Unable to endure the pain anymore, Rimi fell to the floor. She was shaking her head madly.
なんで急に
Where'd this come from?
Don't tell me. My gaze shot toward the ceiling. No, not the ceiling, toward the sky, beyond the ceiling. Toward an artificial satellite that might or might not exist. Shogun attacking?
Hurts.
Oh dear. Blip. A drop of blood fell from Rimi's nose. Suddenly her half moans, half screams ceased. Rimi's body shook violently as she staggered. And then she dropped to the floor head first. Great!
リミ。
Rimi? There was no answer. She didn't even twitch. He killed her. Using satellite, using EM waves, Shogun had killed Rimi. Oh, that had been so quiet. He killed Rimi with neither sound nor smell, without even a hint of his presence. It had been way too quiet, but that only made it even more terrifying. There was no escape. I kneeled to the floor and shook Rimi's shoulder.
ね
Hey,
え、起きてよ。
wake up.
リミ。
Rimi. There's no escape. No matter where I went on Earth, there would be no escape.
僕を置いてい
Don't
かな
leave
い
me
でよ。
alone. Wherever I would try to flee, Shogun would be able to attack from high above in the sky.
こんなの。
This
こん
can't.
なの。
This can't be.
こんなの妄想に
This
決ま
can't
って
be
る。
real. There we go. Okay. When I returned my senses, I was still in front of the monitor. The answer Rimi had written earlier had vanished. And Shogun's "You're dead" had too. I looked back toward the rest of my room, and Rimi's body was nowhere to be found. I felt relieved that Rimi wasn't actually dead, but I was disappointed that she hadn't shown up. Why? Why wasn't she here yet? I was absolutely terrified. I need her now more than ever. Okay, there we go. Whee! Up, hey. Door opens. Yippee! So the next one we're looking for is why were they fixated on me?
お前
I think. Was it? Wait. That was you, wasn't it? I don't think... Yeah, I don't think I need to worry about this. Yeah, no, I don't. Because we're in Chapter 6, right? I'm gonna check by saving the game. Yeah, we're in Chapter 6, so... Why were they fixated on me is the only other one we should be getting. Or discouraged I hung up the phone. I don't even remember why I just... What? Anyways, we're just gonna do a negative here and ruin my sanity, so let's get to it! I feel Santa's breath on my cheeks. She was so close, she could rip out my throat with her teeth just like that. Why was this girl so violent and terrifying? Oh dear. Here we go!
離せ。
Let me go. I flung my arms around as hard as I could, and I inadvertently ended up smacking Sana on the cheek. The impact sent her backward, and she fell to the ground. Hard. She pressed her hand against her head and looked up at me. Long gone was the endless confidence from a few moments ago. All there was now was fear. Her eyes were moist. The sight of this never-before-seen vulnerability lit a sadistic fire in me like no other. All the frustration that had been building inside me had at last found a way to escape, and now it could all flow out at once.
僕を
Show me a little
Nameruna.
respect. My words were undeniably aggressive. They were words I would normally never use, but I had said them to her. It felt good. Refreshing, even. I'm sorry.
悪かった。
I'm sorry.
でも
But you didn't have
叩く
to
なんて
hit me.
ひどい。
Santa looks like she was about to cry. Something that only fueled me even more. The way she was slumped down on the floor.
No, 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 no. Cease your inactions. No, no.
僕
Just
が
think
やられてばかり
back
だと
and take
思
it.
ったのか。確かに見
Sure,
た目
I know
明
I
ら
look
かに弱
weak.
そうだもんな。明らかなドッキリを
It's
相手
much
にする
easier
より
and more fun to
僕みたい
bully
な弱
someone
そうな
weirder
やつ
than
をい
you
じめる
is,
方が楽だ
isn't
し
it, than it
楽
is
しい
to
だ
go
ろ。
after some raging Dokyun, right?
調子に乗りやがって。
Bitch.
僕だって
No, even I can only take so much. I've had enough of you.
い
Okie
つまでも
I'm not just gonna
黙っ
sit
てばか
back
りだ
and
とは思うな
let you
よ。
all walk over me. I couldn't stop the rage swelling inside me. I wanted to miss this arrogant okie dokie. I got on. Okay, I'm starting to get very scared.
何を
What are you?
うるさい。
Shut up. Grab both wrists. No. 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 Feeling of superiority made me almost dizzy.
やめろよ。
Let me go,
離
asshole.
せ。
Her phrasing was as blunt as ever, but her voice lacked any actual power. Was she crying? Well, she was no match for me.
頼む。
What could she do?
こんなこと
Please stop doing this.
やめろ。お願い。
I beg you. I couldn't hold back my laughter. I'm just gonna keep it blacked out until I'm scared. Now I was the one in control. I could do whatever I wanted. I never knew there existed such a wonderful world. Why had I never done this before? What had I been afraid of? I've been a fool for keeping a fruit so sweet locked away for so long. I'll take good care of you. Ah, kiddo. Okay. I can bring it back now.
無視す
Don't
る
you
な。
dare ignore me. When I returned my senses, instead of being on top of Santa, she would still grab me by the chest and push me against the playground equipment. What? I was somewhat confused about how the tables had turned so suddenly.
その力のこ
I
とを
said, who
誰
taught
に
you how
教
to
わっ
use
たん
that
だって聞い
power?
ているんだ。
I don't remember her asking anything like that. Maybe that scenario from earlier was just a delusion I'd used to escape reality? Maybe? Despite me still trying to wrap my head around the situation, Santa started shaking at me violently.
誰からだ。
Who
答えろ
was it? Answer me!
天性信仰
Are
会
you
は
involved
関
with
係
the
あるの
Cosmic
か
Church, the
ないの
Divine
か
Light, or not? Divine Church of the what now? I shook my head reflexively. I can't breathe. Okay. I feel like this is familiar. Yeah, I was about to say. I kept on coughing, struggling desperately to get oxygen in my lungs. Contrary to the delusion I just had, I was in a hopeless situation. Was Santa my enemy after all? Was she another one of Shogun's enemies? Sorry, I had a cup that was making a sound like it was like shaking. If she was, then I had to run away.
関係ないならいい。
If you're not one of them, I'll let you go. Sorry. Noticing my confusion, Santa clicked her tongue lightly and let out a sigh. And then without saying another word, she went to leave. Okay, there we go. Whee! Sua and Hazuki suddenly went silent, then looked up at the ceiling. I'm terrified of you two, so... They then looked back down and stared at each other. Don't. Phew. After suicide, Hazuki's perplexed expression suddenly changed. What is happening here? I didn't choose anything. But you two are, I know you two are evil, so... You're not being watched anymore. Whose eyes are those eyes? Am I right? Suddenly an air of familiarity was injected into the words that the two exchanged. The sense that the two could not be anything other than old friends was loaded into their every word. Did you find the original Nishijo Takumi? No, but I know he's somewhere in this hospital. These are his medical records. He's known to suffer from somnambulism. What the hell? Somnambulism? Alright, you know what time it is. Somnambulism. A sleep disorder where individuals engage in walking or other activities while in a state of partial wakefulness during sleep. So it's sleepwalking. Yeah, it's sleepwalking. Okay. Just wanted to check. In sharp contrast to how resistant she had been to hand it over before, Hazuki readily passed the medical record to Suwa. She had already had it in her possession, as if she had somehow predicted that Suwa would pay her a visit. Oh, this is probably... This is a, I see. This makes... I get it. This is a... Because we beat the game once and got ending A, we're allowed to see this part of their conversation. You're the best. Alright then, on to the next stage. We're going to lead him into O-Front, and then we'll force him to awaken. Are you planning to make contact with him? Yep, but I'm gonna hide my face. With a mischievous smile, Suwa placed a gentle kiss on Hazuki's lips. Let's get this cosplay party started. Jesus Christ, so it was him that was... Gosh, God. I hate you, Suwa. Okie dokie. Whose phone was ringing? This is still not anything that I need to worry about, apparently. Did I already do the 2 for this chapter? I don't even remember, to be honest with you. Have I already done the negative delusions here? I feel like I did. Nanami still wasn't answering. Please pick up. Please pick up the phone already. Oh, she picked up. Nanami! Nanami, are you there? Answer me. Where are you at right now? Are you okay? Come on, say something. Nanami! I called out desperately to the other end of the line, but the voice that answered back. Would you mind calming down a little? That voice was Shogun. Hell. I was horrified. I didn't want to accept it. I called Nanami's phone, but Shogun had answered. Completely dumbfounded. It took all I had just to say the same thing I had before. How? Did you not understand what I meant by that email? Oh! It just now occurs to me. You know, I noticed it before, but there was a time when 2 different Shoguns existed on the computer. One was spelled S-H-O-G-U-N, and another was spelled S-H-O-U-G-U-N. The other Shogun was freaking Suwa, wasn't it? It was Suwa. That's what it was. I get it now. That makes so much more sense now. I remember being so confused, like, is that just like a typo error? Or... No, it was intentional. That was specifically because it was not the actual Shogun that we know. It was Suwa. That's right. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. I get it. Yeah, well, yeah, that's because it wasn't happening. It's just been a delusion. A delusion featuring the worst scenario I could think of. But reality wasn't too far off. The Nami still hadn't picked up, and the sound of someone's ringtone continued to echo throughout the room. The melody was a happy-go-lucky one, something that was in harsh contrast to my current state of mind. The sense of dread within me was growing. There was no getting around it. Nanami's phone was in my room. I couldn't think of any other explanation. I couldn't avert my eyes from reality anymore. I think we're about to start skipping. Yep, there we go. Whee! Aren't we about to start another delusion? Why did it sound like I just heard like a ba-dum-ts? I am gonna have to look back at the guide to see what is the correct option for whatchamacallit again. Like getting through this section. Oh, wait a minute, hang on. Why were they fixated on me? Ah, here we go. We just need to do neutral here. Gotcha. No change then. I saw the D sword. So Sue is the one who kills you here if you do it wrong. I need to look back at this guide, by the way. Select with the common root. I saw the sword. Yes. Should be yes, yes, no, no, yes. Yes, yes. No. No. Yes. Alright, there we go. I don't need to worry about it anymore, but let's just go negative. Okie dokie. Never mind, I actually had already seen that. Okay. Hello. Hello. So this is the point at which I actually start doing delusions in the first playthrough, or the first ending thing I did. Sorry, playthrough. Regardless of what I brought here, I think I've already seen both these, so we're just gonna go negative. I don't actually remember. It's the same. The exact same thing from before was repeating. It was as if Hazuki-san had just walked into the hospital room for the first time. I nervously reached out for the thermometer in my underarm. I was sure I'd put a thermometer there in there. Wait. Uh-oh. Oh dear. Crap. Hang on. We need to go back. Shit. I didn't even think of that. Whoopsie daisy. We are going to have to redo that. Sorry. I made a mistake. That was you, wasn't it? Negative. Okay. The mistake I made is I didn't even check to see. I may have made the... I don't even know if I did the right thing or not. I just want to make sure. I don't know if... Again, I could be completely off my rocker here. I want to play it safe, okay? While it's doing this, I'm actually gonna go ahead and take a drink of water, because I'm thirsty. Hello, bloody hand. Okay. Why is it seriously sounds like a cymbal clap. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about what I was doing, to be honest with you. So I need to keep this delusion neutral. Yeah, admittedly, I just completely forgot that I was even doing what I was specifically doing. I need to even look back at what the yes, yes, no, no, yes, yes. Wait, yes, yes, no, no, wait. Yes, yes, no, no, yes. Yes. Yes.
No. No. Yes.
Yes. All right, there we go. All right, now We're about to be back where we were. Wait, what? Negative. Alright, so the first delusion I need to be looking for is, regardless, why had I been brought here? Actually, I'm just now realizing if this is... Wait, I might have just reset it. Yeah, hang on. I just did all of that for zero reason, I'm gonna be honest with you. Sorry about that. I was so convinced about wanting to make sure things were right that I didn't even think about it. Nothing was there. The thermometer had disappeared. Which meant that what I'd seen earlier really had been a delusion. The tension in my body disappeared, but that didn't mean that my state of mind was any better, nor that I felt anywhere close to relieved. Alright, there we go. Sorry about that, I just want to make sure I was okay. So the next delusion we need to do is a negative that's during the... when it says, hey, Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Where art thou? I had no reason to come to school anymore. Let's do positive, because I don't think I've actually seen positive here. For example, wrapping my arms around one of the girls in my class and hey. Only half paying attention, I looked around the classroom. Who would be a good No. Why is this? No! Stop it! She had a clumsy girl attribute, which was a super moe. Really, she was already virtually a 2D character. She would be a good choice. No, you idiot. No! Stop! No! Even the people who've been ridiculing provoked me to stall by my sudden movement. I'm different. I'm a type. No. I'm muting. No. She was sitting hunched over in her seat, face down. No. Noticing me approach, she looked up at me quizzically. For some reason, she already looked like she was about to cry. I swear to God, it's Takumi. I then quickly grabbed... No. She alternated between looking at me and looking at her surroundings. Her confusion ran all over her face. Clear she had no idea what to do. No! Takumi! No! Don't like this. No! Ew! No! Why are you licking her ear? Ew! No! Ew! No! Don't like you! No! Ew! Creepy! Ew! Don't like you! Sorry, I know I'm kind of skipping around the dialogue. I'm reading it, but I don't like it. I don't even feel comfortable saying it. No, stop it. Delicate body squirm. No. Stop it. No. No. Don't say cat. Dread for face red. No. Don't say roach. Religion solely served to feed my sadistic desire. No, don't say doodly doodly. No. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Huh? I'm sorry. Maybe I should have said... Well, let's just forget about that last one. As I slouched farther and farther into my seat, I tried to make the transfer student perform a number of humiliating acts in my head. I wasn't going to hold back anymore. If my life was going to end anyway, I might as well have a little bit of fun before it did. Is Kazuki going to be extremely, like, angry when she realizes, like, what we've been thinking? I feel like she is. I don't know, I just feel like... I don't know. Hello, Kozupi. I can't wait for you to turn to a demon here.
5 mini minutes.
Alright. Wait, did I already do negative with her? Oh well, we'll have to do positive next time. I'm kind of going through the rest of this with doing just negative, but... Again, I'm probably not going to get to see every delusion, because I really don't understand here, but... All I know is I'm going to try to do the rest of these as negative, and then the next routes or whatever, just try and do as many positives. Anyways, negative here. Because I'm almost positive I did positive before. Why does Kazupi have a D sword?
That's because Kazupi...
With an innocent smile still on her face, Kazupi looked back at me.
is one of Shogun-chan's hench peoples.
And the gigantic snowboard-esque sword flashed, as if cutting the air itself to ribbons. Thanks. Thanks, Kazupi. Huh? I had no idea what had just happened. Before I could even react, it was all over. Kazupi's small body embraced the D-sword. And clinging to that sword was a sticky substance. Blood. Thanks, Kazupi. In that very moment, my body had been permanently disfigured. Thanks, Kazupi. I nearly collapsed, so I tried to step forward with my right leg to stop myself. But my leg wouldn't move. The sensation in my lower body had disappeared. I felt a blistering heat around my waist.
あれ
I fell forward. I couldn't move my body. Confused as could be, using only my hands, I pushed myself slightly upward and looked toward my body. Blood was gushing out from my side. Slimy, protruding intestines glistened in the light. Pink flesh clung to exposed white bone. It was a body that had been bored out. One that couldn't be mine.
嘘
This can't be
Dish.
real. Unable to believe what I was seeing, I looked up at Kazupi. Staring at me with nothing but raw disdain in her eyes. Kazupi took the D-sword, dripping with my blood. And then, almost as if she wanted me to watch, took out her adorable tongue and slowly licked away the crimson. Okay, let's ignore that for eternity. Blech. My delusion made me feel really sick. But that didn't mean that the delusion wouldn't become reality. Assuming the worst, I distanced myself a little from Kazupi, preparing myself to bolt at any moment. Completely oblivious to what I was feeling, Kazupi waltzed around the store like she owned the place, her footsteps light and bouncy. She didn't even attempt to try and hide her sword from the people around her, acting as if it was the most normal thing in the world. It had been the same with Sana. She also been lugging around a gigantic sword in the middle of Shibuya with no regard to the people around her. Kazupi was way too calm. Even if Kazupi didn't say work for Shogun, she still was definitely crazy. Okay, there we go. Hey!
Kozupi wants blood. Kill Kozupi.
We're still looking for a hey, delusion. Takumi. Takumi. Takumi, chill it. Is this gonna be it? Hey, yep, this is the one. Here we need to do a negative. I think that the negative delusion was that the popsicle stick ended up saying whose eyes are those eyes, right? Because I think I checked it, at least what it did. Yeah, it just said whose eyes are those eyes. Alright, that's it for this chapter. The next delusion I need to look for should start with the hospital room had. Hello, Neurose. Hello, Loss of Hand. Hello, Chapter 8. Hello, Slap! That completely caught me off guard for some reason. Anyways, again, we're looking for the hospital room had. I don't think this is it. After hitting me with such an unreasonable demand, Rimi sat down on the sofa.
You ready for the pagan train?
Well, fine. I see how it is. That's how you're gonna be, then I'm leaving. Play your game for the rest of the week for all I care.
I sensed Rimi stand up behind me. When I turned around in surprise, she was already heading toward the door. Wait. I hurriedly called out to stop her, but I was too flustered to get the words out. Right then, Rimi stopped and looked over her shoulder.
Are you worried about your sister?
Why do you know about that? I hadn't spoken a single word to her about Nanami.
Because you were mumbling about it to yourself. Tell me, who's more important to you?
私と
Me
妹さん
or your sister?
Oh god, the world's worst question to ever get asked. Ask. There were women out there who just loved asking nasty questions like that, even though there was no way you could possibly answer them. It was like they reveled in completely disregarding the other person's feeling. They only thought of themselves. I never expected to hear those words in real life. This is exactly what made 3D girls so repulsive. So in the end, Rimi was just another one of those girls that thought like that, huh? No actual brain cells in there to think any other way. To put bluntly, I was disappointed. I was a fool for thinking I could trust her. I'd always known 3D was no match for 2D. This time I gave up on hanging out with Rimi for good. Having lost every ounce of interest I had in Rimi all at once, I let out an exasperated sigh. I couldn't be bothered trying to stop her from leaving. Really, I wanted her to leave as soon as possible. And yet Rimi then went on to do something completely unexpected.
答えて
Answer the question. Who would you choose? Your sister or me?
Suddenly she took out something resembling a fruit knife from her bag, and then she thrusted it toward her own wrist. I was completely dumbfounded. I started trembling in terror.
私を選んで
Pick me. I won't let you have eyes for
私だ
anyone
けを
else.
見て
Was she threatening me? Had this been her true nature all along? Could it be that she'd been some fucking insane mental case the entire time?
お願い
I'm begging you. Look at
私を
me.
見てよ
君は
You
僕
don't
だけを見て
ever
くれ
look
て
at
ない
me
じゃない
like
か
that. In the heat of the moment, I'd given a serious non-shitpost response. Even though everyone knew you shouldn't go along with the stuff psychopaths said, even if it was a threat. I regretted the moment it came out of my mouth, but it was too late.
見てるよ
I very much do.
Rimi's voice was ice cold. Her eyes were bloodshot. She curved her lips into a cruel smile.
だから
Which is
邪魔
precisely
者は
why
排除する
those who get in my way must be eliminated.
あなたの
I was the one who
妹を
abducted
さら
your
った
sister,
の
and I
私
did
だ
it
し
all to meet that end.
You're kidding.
タクに選んでもらう
I'll
ため
do
に
anything to get you to pick me. I'll even do
こんな
this.
ことだってするよ
And then, Rimi pressed the knife against her wrist and slowly began to draw it to the right.
やめろ
Stop! Okay!
Huh?
やめろ
Stop what?
何が
When I came back to my senses, I was looking at my monitor, and I'd heard Rimi's inquisitive voice come from behind me. I hurriedly turned around, only to see her still sitting on the sofa. She was holding a manga in her hand and was giving me a puzzled look.
タク
Taku,
顔
you're
色
looking
悪い
pretty
けど
pale. Is something
どう
wrong?
かしたの
No, not at all. What had that all been a delusion? God, that was so fucked up.
Yeah, mail, you big dum dum. What was
今の
that?
何
いや
It's nothing. Wait a sec, Rimi had just heard my serotonin notification tone. Yep, there we go. Whee! So, we're still looking for the hospital room had. Oh, great, that was the... Oh, God. Ugh. I wonder if Ayase actually knew about Suwa being bad then. I have to wonder. Oh well. Go, we're froggy. Okay, we're getting close, I think. The hospital room had... Yeah, the hospital room had an area of around 10 square meters. We just need to do a neutral delusion here, aka 0.
どこ行ったんだ
Where the hell she run off to?
さあ
Who knows? The window was open. Wind blew against the white curtains, setting them fluttering in the breeze. For some odd reason, it had caught my eye ever since I'd come into the room. It felt like a negative delusion could start any second. One where I jumped from the rooftop and fell past that window. One where if I looked down, I'd find her sprawled on the ground, covered in blood and with gray matter scattered everywhere. I had to check. I couldn't bear the burning curiosity. As if possessed, my shaky legs moved step by step toward the window. I stood right by it. The sky was dyed in evening glow. It was a crisp fall evening. What might have been below? The very picture of hell itself? With a gulp, I ever so sleepily peeked out the window and down toward the ground. There was nothing out of the ordinary. I couldn't see Ayase's corpse anywhere. Guess I'd just been paranoid. But when I went to retract my head in relief, I noticed it. Huh? On the window 1 story below, a single towel was waving in the wind. I assumed it was just a normal white towel, but words of some kind were scrawled on it in the dark blue lettering. Due to it flapping in the wind, I couldn't quite figure out what it was saying. Not that I really cared. The word scribbled on some towel shouldn't have bothered me at all. But a part of me still desperately tried to read it. Oh, I see what it says! Shut up! Whose eyes are those eyes? Yeah, shut up! Stop it! Go away! I was speechless. I couldn't look away. And right after that... Whee! The towel was suddenly pulled back through the window. Almost as if they'd known I'd been looking at the towel at that very moment. No, that couldn't be possible. Nobody I knew could have been in the room below me. Nobody I knew had been hospitalized. Even if someone other than a patient was stalking me from the room below, it would have been impossible for them to predict that I would peer down from here, right? There was no surveillance cameras in the rooms. It was all just a coincidence. It had to be. But what if... maybe, just maybe, it wasn't? Terror creeping up my back, I turned back toward the entrance. There was nobody there. The door was shut. I immediately pulled myself away from the window, feeling incredibly uneasy. Don't think about it. Try as hard as you can not to. This was just a coincidence. A simple coincidence. That was what I told myself. Check it out, Taku. There's some weird-ass stuff over here. I suddenly realized Misumi-kun was calling me. Okay, here we go. The next one we're looking for is Gladiol. Oh, hey, Void. Stabby, stabby, stab. On the 7th page. What? Whose eyes are those eyes? So yeah, the next illusion we should read should start with Gladiol. And it's probably going to be related to you, right? Gladiol. Yep, here we go. We need to do a negative delusion. I don't know if I did a negative delusion last time. He went to go right past me, but just before he did, he put his hand on my shoulder. I can't keep up with this anymore. Rest up to you, dude. With a sigh of exasperation, he made to leave the room. Why do I get the feeling he's about to die in this illusion? Just call it a weird hunch. Bye, Misumi-kun. Stop. Ayase had finally said something to Misumi-kun, but she'd done so with a grim expression on her face. I wasn't sure why. I will not allow you to leave. Oh, what? You actually gonna give me the time of day now? Yes, barely so. After all, I have long since known that you are a servant of the Wicked Heart King. What? Even another part of our insane storyline? Misumi-kun looked pretty annoyed at being dragged into Ayase's bullshit. Pretty justified response, to be honest. It wasn't even funny as a joke. However, Ayase seemed quite serious. Takumi. As she called my name, Ayase took something that looked like a fruit knife from beneath the bedsheets and threw it over to me. Don't make me kill him, for God's sakes. You do it. You do it if you want him dead. Surprised, I hurriedly went to catch it. While the knife fortunately had a guard on it, it still came close to cutting my hand. Kill him. I have one up. I really don't. Listen, he's given me no reason to exactly try and kill him. Sure, he's a piece of shit sometimes, but he's a piece of shit who at least tolerates us. And it's not like... I don't know. You kill him if you want. You got the D-sword right there. Just real boot it real quick. Him? When Ayase said that, she was looking at Misumi-kun. What kind of pestilent insane plot twist was this? Bewildered, I held the knife with a trembling hand. Hey, now. What, you telling him to kill me? Isn't that kind of a dick move, all things considered? Well, I know you can't stand me, Kishimo, but I didn't know it was this bad. Never would have thought you'd say it to my face either. So, what was it again? Graviton? Wicked hard? Not that I've got a goddamn clue what any of it means. Either way, put the knife down, Taku. I trust you're smart enough to ignore Kishimo's crazy delusions. There are no delusions. Takumi, do not let his words misguide you. Misumi's-kun's expression stiffened, and he took a step away from Ayase. There's something wrong with you.
そうだぜ。
匠
Takumi, you must come quickly. We cannot let him expose your existence to
君
Gladiol.
の存在が
With the knife in my hand, I slowly placed it back on Ayase's lap.
匠
Takumi,
君の
The
言って
things
る
you're
こと
saying are completely insane.
めちゃくちゃだよ。
She looked up at me with sad eyes. It doesn't matter how you look at me. How the hell do you expect me to kill Misumi-kun? This had nothing to do with Gladio or whatever. Killing someone would make me a criminal, and that's not gonna happen. Simple as that.
さすが親友。
That's my bro. I knew you'd side with me,
お前ら
Taku.
俺を選んで
Misumi-kun clapped his hand on my shoulder. And then, casually as he could, without a care in the world, he grasped the knife on Ayase's lap.
じゃあな。
See you, schizo
電
bitch.
波オンな。
And then, without stopping even once, he removed the guard from the knife before immediately slashing outward. I wasn't expecting her to die, to be honest with you. Blood spurted from her neck with blistering speed. Some splashed against my face. It was very, very hot. Ayase's eyes were wide with shock. She's looking straight at me. Her body then slowly collapsed upon the bed. The pure white sheets were stained crimson.
やっちまったな。
Sucks to be you, Taku. That was your last
今のが
chance to
最
stop
後
the
のチャンスだった
resurrection of Gladio. I couldn't even scream.
復活を阻止するために。正しかったのは
You should have trusted
岸
Kishimoto.
本の方だった
As he said that, Misumi-kun got on top of Ayase's splayed-out body. And without even a hint of hesitation, he gouged out her eyeballs. And yet her body didn't move. It didn't even twitch. Misumi-kun turned to me, and with a cruel smile, he murmured,
その目
Whose
だ
eyes are those eyes? Great! Thanks, Misumi-kun! I need another drink of water. When I came to, Ayase, who should have been covered in blood, was simply sitting on the bed, completely unharmed. Misumi-kun was nowhere in sight. We only got 2 more delusions to pick, and then we should be set for getting the next ending. Had that just been a delusion? I let out a deep sigh of relief. That had definitely been a nasty one. Feeling guilty, I apologized to Ayase inside my head. But since she couldn't hear my thoughts, Ayase just went on with her schizo babbling. The next illusion we need to do will start with that voice. But it's not till chapter 9, so...
なんだ
It's too negative and destroy my sanity. Yippee!
あなたは
ask her if she'd been hospitalized here all this time. Or accuse her, I guess.
Huh?
どういう意味だ
What's that supposed to mean?
あのね
Okay, so here's the thing.
岸本さんは
Kishimoto-san was never
退
discharged from
院
the
なんてし
hospital.
てなかったの
With a bit of pride in her voice, Rimi began to reveal some pretty shocking information about Ayase.
たまにしか学
The
校に
reason
来
she
なか
barely
った
ever
の
came
も
to school is
この
because she was
病院
never
から
she never
学ん
let,
で通ってた
was
か
never
ら
allowed to leave the hospital in the first
Live
place.
that
Same
as
thing
well.
with her concerts.
そして
And Nugent was
事件
just
は
a delusion she
岸本
created,
さんの
which
生み
then
出した
which she
妄
then
想を
enacted
彼
herself.
女自身の手でファンタズムの歌
She
詞
committed
の
all
通
those
りに
crimes that fit
事
perfectly
件を
with the
起こ
lyrics
した
of
の
Phantasm's songs.
それによ
All
って
this was so
注
she could
目
draw
を浴び
attention
る
to
ために
them.
それが
That's
私の
my
推
theory
理
on
し
the
た
truth behind
ニ
New
ュージェネ
Genesis.
事件
I
の
was approaching
真相
Kishimoto about it just
さ
before,
っ
and I
き
didn't hold back.
思い切って岸本さんそしたら
And
叩
then
か
I
れちゃ
got
った
slapped because of it.
That wasn't something to ta-ha-ha over. Anyone would get upset at being treated as a murder without proof. Then again, when I treated Rimi like a murder, she hadn't got all pissy.
でも
But I know my
私の
theory's
推理
right,
は
so that
間違
means
っ
you
てな
gotta be
いや
careful,
つ
okay, Taku? Kishimoto-san,
異常だ
she's
よ
not normal.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It had come from Rimi of all people. I'd wondered if I misheard her.
私は正常よ
I'm perfectly normal.
Eh?
Huh? A clear voice echoed throughout the room. Hi there. When I looked over to find the source of it, I saw Ayase standing at the entrance to the hospital ward, D-sword in hand.
すべては
Oh, it's the guidance of the greater will. With that shriek, she charged us with the D-sword.
おい
What the?
逃げようぜ
Run for it!
Taku, what do we do?
どうし
I
よう
don't
って
know.
グラジオールに
Glory be to Gladio!
Ayase had clearly gone off the rails. She came closer and closer. This was bad. We had to run. If we didn't, we were dead. I'm dead. I was in too much of a hurry, so I ended up tripping over myself. I fell to the floor so hard it was almost comical. Taku! Leave him, Rimi! Abandoning me, Rimi and Misumi-kun ran away. My arm reached for them as their backs got smaller and smaller. Wait, don't leave me behind! Okay. Bye-bye. Ow. And turn off the TV. There we go. Hey, Taku, enough daydreaming, dude. Let's move. Misumi-kun was calling for me. Rimi also waved at me from beside him. Blinking dazedly, I examined my surroundings. Ayase was nowhere in sight. I wasn't injured. I hadn't been split in two. Phew. It's a delusion, huh? And here I thought I was gonna die. That scary version of Ayase could happily stay in my delusions, thank you very much. Taku, move your ass. I hurriedly chased after the two. Anyways, yeah, the next two delusions should be in Chapter 9. But we're good right now. Don't need to worry about it. Negative. You already know it. Oh, I'd already chosen negative before. And hello, Rimi D-Sword. Whoop! Dual blades. Again, I'm looking for it to say that voice. IR2. Oh yeah, this. I forgot about that. Good thing we can just skip right over it because that was horrid. And we're just about to enter... There we go. Chapter 9. So we're looking for that voice. We're actually getting real close to the end here.
At least 4 delusions and synchronize then.
Negative! Never mind, it just skipped me. I guess I already picked negative before. Yippee! Do 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 do. Maybe it was for the best that I died. I'm gonna go with the positive. I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't have chosen negative, or I would have. With my own 2 feet, I took a single step forward. Or at least I intended to. But my legs didn't move an inch. They wouldn't do it for me. And before I realized, my knees had started trembling. I couldn't gather the courage. Despite how much I wanted to die, the fear of death wouldn't allow me to take even a single step forward. I wanted to die, and yet I also feared death. I didn't understand. I couldn't grasp my own feelings anymore. Did I want to live or die? Which was it? I want to die. Clench my teeth, close my eyes, and repeat to myself, I want to die. But just as I feared, my legs wouldn't move. Seeing the steel cars pass by so quickly, the thought of getting run over by one of those high-speed weapons came to my mind, and my body froze completely. But I want to die. In the end, I sank to the ground. At what should have been the end of it all, I finally got to know how much of a pussy I was. How much of a spoiled brat I was. I ended up thinking about what would be most convenient for me. If I can't move from here, what if a car skids on the road and runs into me on the sidewalk? How nice it would be if some act of God like that had me die. Are we going to... Yep, here we go. Do. Despite that, she was all I had left. Negative. I guess I already picked negative before. Also, bye. Goodbye. Ban. I'm totally not gonna tell you. I just forgot his name. Wrong button. That voice. Okay, for this one, we need to do a positive delusion. Did I do
やっと出て
Oh,
きた。
there you are.
Hey, Nanami.
生存確認。
Routine survival check.
As I opened the door, Nanami smiled and waved at me. I froze in place. She was acting way too normal. She was acting way too energetic. I'd seen it. A white bandage wrapped around her right wrist. So why? I then remembered the phone call I got a few hours earlier. The pained voice asked me to give her her right hand back. And now the smile she had right now, and the bandage around her right wrist, contradicted each other. Nanami was contradicting herself. Oh, I see. She was also a delusion. She had to be. I never had a little sister named Nanami to begin with. I got it now. That had to be it. After ignoring her and heading back to my room, I sat down on the sofa. I once again took hold of the Seraton figure and gripped her tight. So tight, in fact, that my hands hurt slightly. But it didn't matter, because that pain too was a delusion.
お兄、
What's
どうした
wrong, big
の？
bro? You don't look like
Genki
you're
ないじゃん。
doing too hot.
Everything in this world was made up of delusions. Delusions developed only within my mind. Both me and this delusion I were looking at were fake.
徹夜でゲー
Were
ムで
you
も
up
やって
playing
たの？
games all night? You really need to start
Well,
acting more like a
then
person, less like you're
人間らしい生活したら？
nocturnal or something.
え、
Huh?
何
What'd you say?
黙れ。
Shut up.
ちょっと。
Hey, you don't have to
そんな
talk
言
to
い
me
方
like
しな
that,
く
you
ても
know.
いいじゃん。お兄だからって。
Do you think I'm gonna let you
何
say
か
whatever you
許
want
さ
just
れ
because
る
you're my
とか思っ
brother?
てる？
黙れ
Shut
よ。
up. You
もう
delusionary
遅い
sister.
妹が。
妄想？
Delusionary.
I surrendered my body to the sofa and looked up at the ceiling. With no particular goal in mind, I started counting the rusty spots. I didn't want to look at Nanami. I'd only feel empty if I did. Well, not that I cared about whether I felt empty or not, given I was just a delusionary existence.
ねえ、お兄。
Hey, big bro.
本当に
Are
平
you
気？
really okay?
いつも
You're
と
not really
全然
acting
様
like
子が違
yourself.
うけど。
Worrying about me like a good little sister, huh? My delusional sister was worried about me. That fact alone filled me with rage. Besides, who is she'd have to come in my room like she owned the place?
あ、
I
わ
know.
かった
You're hungry,
お
aren't
腹
you?
空いたんでしょう。
I grabbed my teeth.
だったら、
What are you in the mood
Nana,
for?
何か作ろう
I can
か？
make something.
どれ。
Take it off.
鳥って
You
言っ
want
た？
takeout? Oh, come on.
No one said a thing about takeout.
鶏肉だと。
Just let me make you
やっぱ
something.
唐揚げ
How's
か
fried
な？
chicken sound? I never
で
made it
も
on
一
my
人
own
で
before,
作った
though.
ことないし。あ、別に。
Not that I'm
お兄
doing
の
this
リ
because
ク
you
エストがあっ
asked
た
for
か
it.
ら
I was
作
in the
るわ
mood
け
for
じゃ
some
ないか
fried
ら
chicken,
ね。
and I didn't want to go
ナ
out
ナ
for it,
も
that's
今
all.
日は鶏肉で何か作りたい
Listen,
な
honey,
っ
was
て
really
思ってただ
annoying.
けだよ。
The fact that she was so similar to the real one wasn't something I could ignore. Wait, did a real Nanami even exist in the first place? Then what was this, Nanami? Real? The real Nanami? My head became a mess. So I stopped thinking. I didn't care anymore. At the end of the day, everything was a delusion.
包帯取れ。
Take off the bandage.
取ってみろ。
Just take it off, you
Okay.
dumbass.
包帯って。
Bandage? Oh,
こ
this?
れ？転んで打撲
I
し
just
た
fell
だ
and
け
hurt
だし。
myself. No big deal.
Just a fall? Was it true? Or was she lying? I would know if she took it off.
ほんと。
I swear, you're the most selfish person I know.
じゃあ約束して
But
よ。
fine, promise you that if I
ナナが
take the
包帯
bandage
取っ
off,
て見
you'll
せた
cheer
ら
up.
お兄も元気出すって。
The sound of rustling cloth rang throughout the quiet room, followed by a ringing in my ears. My head hurt. These two were illusions, though, so I paid them no mind.
はい。
There,
これで
you
満
happy now?
足？って、ちょっと。
Well,
い
I
い
spent this
わざ
trouble
わざ
taking
取った
off,
んだ
so
か
the
ら
least you can do is
ちゃん
look
と
at
見
it.
てよ。
I sluggishly lowered my gaze. Nanami had rolled up her uniform sleeve and was now sticking her right hand out toward me. And when I looked at her slender arm, I saw... blood. Blood. Dripping blood. Bloody words that had been cut into her arm. And they said,
その目。
Whose
Don't
eyes
know.
are those eyes?
My My vision flashed, and when it passed, just like that, the horrifying wound on her arm was gone. I'd been hyperventilating, so I moved to catch my breath. I forcefully bit my lip. Nanami was rubbing the arm she had taken the bandage off of.
I think the bruise is pretty much gone now. It was super swollen at first.
I didn't know whether this was the truth or not. Sure, there wasn't a wound there, but there had been before. I didn't understand anything anymore. I didn't want to think anymore. I once again laid my head on the sofa. Hey, Nanami. Without meeting her eyes, I called out to my sister, or to the girl whose identity I wasn't sure of. I don't care whether you're real or fake, so... Right now, I only wanted one thing. Won't you kill me? And there we go. Moving and grooving, and become soulless. Now. Soulless. Hello, D-Sword. It's gonna give me a stroke is what it's gonna do in a second here. There's only one more delusion we need to get, which is for revenge. The next delusion should start with for revenge. Bye-bye. Okay. Jump scare. Naked lady.
For revenge.
For this one, all I gotta do is hit neutral. And once I do this, we're going to be on track for the next ending. Here we go. Suddenly the wall of people opened up before me, like I was Moses from the Bible. A single path inviting me in. They were all waiting for one person. Me. It's a reality TV show that's sweeping the nation. Today's episode, the world's most terrifying offline me. People from all over the net had come to lynch the biggest embarrassment in all of Japan, Nishijou Takumi, right in the middle of Shibuya. Their catchphrase, whose eyes are those eyes? When that long scenario played out in my mind, Oh, I just got an achievement. Whose eyes are those eyes? Found all whose eyes are those eyes. Interesting. Okay. Laughed. As much as I hate pain, as long as I would die, I'd be more willing to deal with that pain. Oh, I wonder what this ending's going to be interesting, because I just realized what seems to be at least a somewhat common trait among most of these delusions, which is it's gotten me the most it's let me see whose eyes are those eyes the most, I feel, selecting these specific delusions. A perfect festival for me to die at. I finally grasped what serotonin meant by revenge. I hadn't died at the last time I was here, so they prepared the stage just for me. Forming a lazy smile stemming from the corner of my mouth, I started making my way through the path between the people. At the end of it, I could see various members of the mass media standing next to each other like idiots, cameras and microphones in hand. Both the onlookers and the mass media were incredibly tense. There was a tiny bit of commotion, but nowhere near the amount you'd normally hear at a festival. All the energy they'd had back when I humiliated myself atop O Front was gone. Everyone looked at me. Their eyes were cold and sharp, staring daggers at me with what felt close to murderous intent. Whether I liked it or not, my expectations were swelling higher and higher. Kill me. Kill me. Kill me. Okay, here we go. So now we should be on track to get the last ending. Or, sorry, not last ending. I'm stupid. The next ending. Ignore my stupidity of saying last ending. From here, the rest of the choices don't matter. It seems like. From here, all I gotta do is watch the ending play out. Okay. I forgot how disturbing that was. Go away. Kaboom! So I wonder how much of this ending is actually going to be different. So far, it seems like it's all the same. Evidently, it should stop when it gets anything new. But already, we're going through a decent chunk just the same. Do 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 do. Hello, Yua. Move, Yua. Hello, Nanami. Shmove, Nanami. Shmove it and groove it. Shinsen Station of the Inokashira line was one step from Shibuya, with it taking only about a minute to arrive there by train. The station itself was situated within an underground tunnel, resulting in the only natural light being the beams seeping in from the opening at the end of the platform. Due to the earthquake, all the lights had gone out, enveloping the area in a far thicker darkness than usual. Carrying Orihara Kozue's body on her back, Aoi Sena set foot on the platform. There had been no need to buy a ticket. Not a single staff member was present in the vicinity, and none of the ticket machines were in its service. Only a glance was necessary to understand how horribly warped the railway tracks had become. It was no wonder that the trains had suspended operation the day before. Kazue's breathing would turn laborious at times, but she was far from conscious. The dried blood was caked on her forehead. During the earthquake, she'd been caught up in the wake of a collapsing building, and had not regained consciousness since. Wait, this seems different. Gigalomaniacs are unable to use their powers to heal. To the brain, pain was an inescapable reminder of reality. Thus, Gigalomaniacs could not form any sort of mutual recognition to the effect of, I'm not wounded, or the injury didn't happen. Human instinct would never allow it. Moreover, one cannot establish mutual recognition with someone who is unconscious. These reasons rendered Sena unable to assist Kozue.
This is very different. Kozue is now unconscious. Before, she was awake, but her leg was stabbed through. But this is a big difference. When they at least reached the deserted platform, Sena lowered Kozue from her back and gently laid her against the wall. Sena's expression was stiff. With only a single glance toward Kozue, she shifted her gaze back to the station premises. Glaring motionlessly at a certain point in the distance, she gritted her teeth. Finally, I found you. At the end of her gaze. Oh! You know what? This feels like the perfect spot to stop, I feel. Next time, we're gonna run this to the end. We're gonna complete the second ending. Oh, it's even got a new name. Crying Sky. The original chapter 10 was called Silent Sky. This one's called Crying Sky. I feel like we're not going to be able to stop Narose this time. I'm getting this sneaking suspicion, but we will figure that out next time. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoy, and hope to see you all next time. Peace.